One. Good to go.
All right, so we're going to talk about time management today, and we're going to kind of share our top tips for what we do in our business to manage our time well, whether we're working full-time, part-time, whatever it might be, so that way we can reach all of our goals and continue to see success in our business. So is there anyone that wants to start it off and share your top 3 time management tips?
I'm not sure if I have 3, but something that's been working really well for me since I've been working from like full time now is I've set up a schedule on my phone. So 6:30 is wake up call, 8 o'clock's my workout, 9 o'clock is like shower, get ready for the day. Obviously that didn't happen today. And then 10 is, let me just read about this. Check into your challenge groups, answer emails, do some follow-ups. And then do that from 10 to 12, and then I unplug for an hour. And then at 1 o'clock, that's my relationship building time and inviting time. So I focus on that for an hour and a half. And then at 2:30 is like the fun stuff. So marketing, creating videos, going through like Streak and stuff like that. And then at 3:30, I start my business development call time. So that's when I listen to the National Wake Up Calls, listen to training videos and stuff. And then at 4:30, I unplug. So I found last week was brutal. Didn't do anything, didn't get anything done. Like the most unfocused week and unsuccessful week probably I've ever had in my business. So this week I had talked to one of my other success partners, and she sent me her schedule, and I just clocked it in, and it's on for every single day of the week. And I know what I'm going to be doing, when I'm going to be doing it. And it's like, I did it all day yesterday and it was awesome. Today I was not so motivated, but my alarms kept on going off and I kept on feeling guilty. So tomorrow I know is going to be a better day, and it really, really helps me so far. And what's the question again, Kelsey? Time management? The other thing is having my tracker beside me, knowing what I need to get done, and then checking those things off, because I think I'm like a lot of you in the way that like I feel so accomplished when I check something off my to-do list. So that always keeps me focused. And today, like, I had my tracker in the other room, so I didn't see it all day, and that made a difference, I think. And then also working somewhere where you can be focused. So not sitting in front of the TV, but like sitting at your desk with like maybe some music on, but not having a lot of background noise. Those are my tips.
All right, that was awesome. It's actually kind of interesting because tomorrow on the team call, I'm actually going to kind of be talking about, I like read this article on how if you take action, the motivation will come after, but you can't always be waiting for the motivation to come first. You have to take action first, and the motivation comes from checking off your checklist and, you know, having success or having a moment where you feel like you've accomplished something. So that's really, it's awesome that you said that. So having those schedules and things obviously help you. So that's awesome. Yeah.
I'm going to post them in the group, what I do, so you guys can see.
Perfect. Okay. Morgan, do you want to share your top tips?
Sure. So I've got as Shelby was talking, this is like my favorite topic ever. So I have a few more than 3, but they're really quick. So my first one was one I got from Kirsten just recently that I've started doing, is putting my to-do list on my phone, because I had mine on paper and then I'd be like, where's my paper? And it was hard to carry around. I'm like, hey, she's always got her phone. It's always on her phone. I'm like, I need to start doing this. So I made, I'll show you here, just like Kirsten had in her notes. I just call it my daily list, and I did lots of emojis, so it's nice and colorful when, when I look at it. So I've kind of just got like my challenge group start dates at the top, and then the little bubbles I can check off for things I do daily. And then I've also got like Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays for the repetitive things. Cause like I found with my day planner, I had to like write them down every single week. And sometimes I was forgetting things. So like on Tuesdays, I always do Tip Tuesday and the bombshell call reminder. On Wednesdays, I always do check drill down and email leads. On Thursdays, recognition. So I did it per day too. And then I also have like a monthly bubble checklist for the things I do every single month, like, you know, making my calendar or the Success Club banners or things like that, just so I could take it out of my brain and put it on there. So I moved that to my phone. So that's helped a lot because I can just I always have my phone. Another thing, I do the same thing as Shelby. Having a work area has been huge. I do treat myself and work from the couch and work from the car and all that jazz. But it's kind of nice, like when I like to have a space that's like when you sit down, it's like almost automatic. Like you go into work mode. Like on the couch, sometimes it'll take me a while to sort of get into it. But when I sit down, like sometimes even if I'm not working at the store, I'll go there just to work because I can't do anything else in that office. As soon as I sit down, I work. So creating that space. And then these were my original 3 tips that have kind of helped me. So number 1, every morning, I don't know if you guys have like crazy to-do lists, like everything just seems everywhere. So every morning, usually for 10 minutes, it's more of me just like reorganizing my to-do list and like erasing things that I really don't need to get done because I end up just jotting a bunch of stuff down. So I'll just like reorganize it and like what days I'm going to do what things. And I try and have max 3 extra things a day. I try for like 1 or 2 max. I think it was a podcast I heard from Shalene once, and it was like my to-do list was so long, like it was just never getting done. Cause plus we have like our daily thing that we do all day and that takes enough time. Right. So I try like 1 extra thing, 3 max if it needs to be done, but the rest get pushed to a different day. Cause like you said, I want to unplug by like, 4:35 or whatever. And then to keep my kind of, cause I don't want to forget about things. So I just have like a loose leaf kind of booklet thing where I just put down like future ideas so that like, I don't have to do them right now, but just, this is like an idea book I could pick from. And I usually pick 1 project a month. So if I'm revamping my challenge group, that's my project this month. Next month, I'm going to revamp my online training. Whatever it is, I just 1 project a month. And that's kind of it.
Perfect. That's really good. I actually really love that idea, Morgan, of just having like a separate book because I often add like my extra ideas to my to-do list and then I get super overwhelmed. So I like that, like the separation of the 2. So I like that. I wrote that down. All right. Kirsten, do you want to share your top tips, the things that you do to manage your business?
Sure. Okay. So one of the biggest transitions for me within the last year was going down to part-time. And you would think that I would have so much time to build my business and I would be so focused and really hone in all oh my God, no, it's so much harder now. When I was working full-time, I felt like I had so much more structure. So I knew that between 5 a.m. and 7:30 a.m., that was business time. That was workout time. I like crushed through that. And I knew that on my lunch break, I had to make another post. I knew that right after work, I made another post, So I was really structured that way. Whereas now working part-time, don't get me wrong, I'm so blessed and really grateful that that's happened. But like today, oh my God, like I'm doing nothing today. It's raining and I'm out at the farm, like literally doing nothing. I'm just like, my computer's here. I have everything I need, but I'm just so unmotivated to do it. But having a list or having something just to look at and be like, okay, this will take me 15 minutes. I'm just going to get through this. So the biggest thing for me is lists. And I know we've all said that, but whatever your list looks like, you need to have one. You just have to have it. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what to put on mine. What does yours look like? Just break it down like to the vital behaviors. And what do you need to do to accomplish those vital behaviors? So invite. Okay, so I'm probably going to invite someone to my challenge group. I'm probably going to invite someone to the coaching opportunity. And then for recognition, that's something that's really huge now. So I actually have a template, like a checklist for that because I find that so important now. But yeah, because I run my business from my phone, like Morgan said, my notes, I have so many notes in there, and I do the same thing. Mondays, this happens. Tuesdays, this happens. Wednesdays, this happens. Because I'm the type of person, I want to work smarter, not harder. And I've said this 100 times. I'm growing this business, not so I can be a millionaire. Sure, that will be a really great bonus, but I'm growing this business so I have time like this with my family. So time's important to me. So time management is even more important, right? So being really, really smart with my time. And if that means sometimes I have to say like, hey, sorry guys, I need to just step in the spare bedroom for like an hour, hammer out some work, and then I'm done for the day. I can toss my phone aside. That's how you need to run this business. And, you know, people respect that. It's much better than you being on your phone while you're out for dinner with a friend. It's better than when you're trying to watch a movie with your husband or your boyfriend. You're on your phone. Just say, you know what, before we get started, I'm going to hammer out 30 minutes here of solid work, and then we'll be done. But really setting aside time is key. You don't want to be kind of half in, half out, you know, your thoughts are scattered and everywhere, and you end up not accomplishing anything. So set aside the time and then run off a list so that that time is used really, really well, so that you're not just scrolling Facebook or Pinterest or Twitter, whatever it is you're doing, you're getting your duties done. So that's kind of my thing, is just making sure that time is allotted, and that's working time. That's nothing else. So, cause I know I am like, you know, a dog that sees a squirrel, right? If I see a cute outfit on Aritzia, I'm going to get sucked into the vortex of like page 8 and 9 of the t-shirt section. So it's like, I can't do that. I need to dial in with what I'm doing. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. And, I really like Christina Delgado's National Wake Up Call. And that's one that I recommended to my team big time, because she breaks it down and says, you know, you just need to look at what the leadership ladder requires. So how do you hit those things on the leadership ladder? That should be your list. That should be what you're doing. Okay, I need to make sure that I have X amount of PV. I need to make sure that my coaches are doing this. So check in with those coaches. You know, look at your sponsorship drill down. Check in with them. Because she said that she was so focused on hitting, you know, certain targets in her business and growing her business and making sure that happened, that she didn't have coaches hitting Success Club. So she didn't have longevity in her business because of that. Sure, on paper, she was hitting Success Club and she was rank advancing, but she was always worried about dropping, right? Because she didn't have business builders. So I find, and I think all of us have probably seen that progression as we've grown as leaders too, having a checklist for team growth and like being a good leader, not just for our business, is so important. So I'm always, my one checklist is what have you taught your team today? And it's like, okay, I've taught them, maybe it was like a leadership training from, you know, Lindsay Matway from years ago that I thought was a total gem, or maybe I found something online that was about organizing your office, like something as simple as that. Like if you guys are finding everything's cluttered, lists, but I lose papers too, so my phone is my list. So digital lists.
That's awesome. I totally agree. When I started working from home, I was all over the place. Like I could get to like 3 o'clock and be like, I didn't do anything. Like it felt like I was always busy, but I wasn't, because I wasn't putting my time where it needed to be. And I was focusing on like that dream list of things that I could do as big projects versus the basics. So I love that. And I think it's good for everyone to know that, you know, everyone goes through that, where they have to find how they best can manage their time to do this business. So that's awesome. Autumn, do you want to share yours?
Yeah, so it took me honestly about like 7 months to figure out how to kind of use my time most efficiently as a full-time coach. It's really tough because when you're working, right, or when you do have a job cases, you're using your 15 minutes here and there. You get up in the morning, you have 2-3 hours, whatever the case is. You have your break, you might have lunch, before classes, whatever it is. And that's what I would do. I'd have my day set out in the morning, and then I'd have my checklist and things that I have to do in the morning, that couple hours before work. And then I'd have my things I did at lunch, and then in between work and classes starting, and then when I got home. So I made all this little, it work in between everywhere that I could. And so I feel the same way sometimes. I was way more efficient with my time when I was not a full-time coach. But again, I still, no matter what, would never trade this freedom for anything. So now I finally, especially since the cruise, I've definitely figured out a way to manage my time a little bit better. Some days are better than others. Like today, I've like taken all day to get to my workout. I took all day to get to this and to send messages. Like it was one of those days, and it's totally the weather, and I know that. But I've definitely gotten a lot better at trying to get everything I need to get done by about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then if I plug in again a little bit later on, that's okay. But I try to get everything done in the morning. And I've shown this so many times, but it's just my tracker. Like I was so anti-tracker. It's the same one pretty much. And then I have like a check-in thing, so I don't forget the groups, because eventually you have all these groups to check into, and then you start to forget which groups you even have going on. So I always put those in each week, and I just like to rewrite it out every Sunday. But I was so anti-tracker when we first did it. It took me forever to use one. I think the Revitalize group or something was one of the very first ones that I actually started using it for. And then I realized how, you are avoiding not doing things in your business because you don't have to see it. So on top of that, I always, every week, I put my Success Club goal, how many new coaches I want, if I want emeralds or diamonds, like whatever the case is. And then I have my little boxes and stuff beside to just track and watch out for. So then I am always on track of my goals, and I know how many people I need to be talking to and inviting to reach that. And then I always have a my weekly tracker. I just write it every week too. Eventually, maybe once I get a printer, I'll come up with something better. But for now, this seems to work, and I just do it on the back of my tracker every week. And I have the same kind of things like national wake-up calls, date nights, certain calls, recognition days, like the same things that are usually every single day. And then I add in a couple other things. I'm trying to do more of what you've done, Morgan, and just like picking 1 or 2 things out of that list, because I do jam pack my day full of stuff, and then I won't get to it all, and then it just turns into this one big list. So I am kind of trying to narrow it down a little bit more, but that's pretty much what I do. I follow a tracker. I tried for a while to have alarms on my phone, and then I'm like this stubborn person that if I'm not done doing something and I want to do this longer, or I procrastinate, I do it and I just ignore my alarms. But that's kind of what I do. I'm not the best with time management, but making this list. Oh, my other tip was kind of staying consistent with the same things you do every day. So like you always do, might be an order. And I think I kind of got that more from Morgan and stuff. It's just you work out at the same time roughly every day. You do your check-ins the same time kind of roughly every day. You follow your tracker almost the same every day. And I find that when I do that, I'm more efficient with my time, and I keep on track of what I'm supposed to doing rather than just leaving things here and there. If I follow the same pattern every day, it just keeps me more consistent, and I actually feel like I'm moving my business forward more. But definitely lack on time, just vital behaviors, and focus on those. And that's it.
Awesome. You are like the queen of like weekly trackers too. Like you've like in the last couple of months, you've gotten so good at that. I still need to work on that myself. Kirsten was saying that it's so important to recognize early Success Club leaders and to recognize first challenge pack sales and engaging creative posts, all that kind of stuff. It's so important to do all those rank advancement posts on Thursdays and just really making people feel important. And I even know in the last 2 weeks, I actually started recognizing people for making really good, creative, engaging posts, and coaches that have been in a funk in the past and they clearly have gotten themselves out of it. I've really been focusing on doing that. And even in my personally sponsored team page, just the atmosphere in there has totally changed, because now they're really focusing on checking out each other's and congratulating each other and just supporting, and that's been really, really good too. I've seen a huge jump in my coaches just in the last 3 days even, so that's super important. I love that you brought that up, Kirsten. Lastly, we have Marie. Do you want to share us what your management tips are?
Sorry, I haven't been on here in so long, I forgot how to unmute myself. Okay, I don't know what it all was said. Sorry, because I had to jump on late. But the ones that I wrote down for myself, I set timers. I think that's probably been said. Yeah. I actually just shared that with my team today. I started doing this thing called Tipsy Tuesdays, and it's basically Tip Tuesdays, but refers to drinking alcohol because that's fun for everybody. I make my to-do list the night before when I'm on a roll, when I have a good schedule. Like I'm just getting back now, so I'm a little bit funky and I'm still jet lagged, so that's difficult. But when I have a regular schedule, if I make my to-do list the night before, I give myself 5 things for the day, because I find if I don't give myself, or if I don't by the number 5, I'll overload myself, like Autumn, what you were saying. And before I left for Asia, I was so overwhelmed and overstressed, and I wasn't having fun anymore doing coaching. And I feel like it's so easy to get off track of what the point of it is and to stop having fun with it. So I decided, Kate, fuck it, I'm just doing 5 things. If I don't get those 5 things done, it's not the end of the world. And I also do morning activities and afternoon activities. So I find that in the morning, when people are not on social media, I'm way more focused and I'm way more of a morning person. So I get up, I have my coffee and PD or lemonade and PD, I crush my workout, shower, and then I answer messages first thing in the morning and send out invites, because nobody else is on Facebook or anything, so I'm not distracted by people responding and that kind of stuff. So I always do that kind of activity in the morning. And then I leave my other activities like making positive deposits or national wake up call or doing pick monkey graphics, that kind of thing. I leave that kind of stuff for the afternoon, because that's when I'm more likely to be a little bit more like, oh, this is awesome, this side article that I don't need to read right now from BuzzFeed, I'll just check it out for a second or 2 hours. So I leave my more distracting activities for the afternoon when I don't actually have as much time to be distracted. In the morning, I just do my more important tasks that if I get those done in the day, at least I got those main priorities done. And yeah, mostly just that, but not overloading my to-do list, because there's always the want to do more. Like even today, I made 2 videos today and I made 2 videos yesterday, and I was so pumped. I was like, holy shit, I haven't made videos in so long, and I just crushed out 4 in 2 days. And then I spent like 8 hours working today, and now my brain kind of just feels like, what happened? Where am I? But yeah, I don't know. This is good. It's a good call to hear all your guys' techniques.
That's awesome. I've actually never really thought about purposely answering questions when no one's like gonna actively respond, but that's a really good point, because I've done like things like that in the afternoon, and then I'm just like getting through people, and then all these messages are coming back, and it's just overwhelming. And it's like Autumn and I talk about this all the time, how sometimes that's like we dread almost having to start conversations with people at some points, because it's so much going on at once. So I love that idea of like responding in the morning, and then that way it's not all coming at you at the same time and it's not so overwhelming. So I love that. I am definitely switching my schedule around to have that happen in the morning.
Cool.
So that was awesome. The only thing that I have that I want to add on is for me, a huge thing, like when I was working full-time and in school full-time, I literally had like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And it was so structured that it just worked, right? And then when I went full-time coaching, and now I'm like subbing, and it's all over the place. I never know what I'm doing day to day. And it was really hard for me to get into a routine, because I don't know what my routine is until 7:45 a.m. when I know if I'm teaching or not. And I found for me that really was hard, right? Like I couldn't get into a routine, and I've been in a routine for the last 2 years. So what's really helped me is being able to check in and like say in the morning to Autumn, like, hey, how's your day going? Like, what did you do today? Even just like hearing what she did and be able to like kind of say what I'm planning on doing or whatever, even to my team, having those like places to check in has helped me so much. Like I have a support group called Growing Emerald. So it's all new coaches that are working towards Emerald. And in there, I just like tell them what I'm doing and stuff. And for me, that's really helped get my mind like on track. So I always think it's really important to have a place to really like say what you're doing for the day and kind of be accountable almost to your business and someone else. So that's really helped me on the days when I've been in a funk, is just having like some place to go and have that support. So that way I can get back on track. So otherwise my 3 I wrote down, you guys already said, so that's awesome. Does anybody have anything else they want to add before we end the call, or anything they want to talk about?
We were talking about this yesterday in our squad group, and I forgot to mention it. But so we made I made the front page, like this is my first page when I unlocked my phone, as just like basic, like nothing except for my calendar, clock, contacts, and streak. And then the next page is everything else, notifications and everything that are going to drive me crazy. And I just have to check all the time. And actually Rebecca shared it with us, and I was like, I'm doing that right now. And like yesterday I found it made a huge difference. And then during the day, when I was working on my computer, I deleted Facebook off my phone while I was working on my computer, because so I wasn't getting that notification and I was checking my phone and then getting distracted by Snapchat and getting distracted by other things too. So that really helped too, to stay focused.
That red dot on my, like, you know how there's that GIF or whatever, there's two types of people, like the one with like no notification, no red dot, and then the one, like, I cannot have a red dot.
Red dots, like, they drive me crazy. I have so many.
That would drive me crazy. So I love that, keeping it on the other screen. That's a good idea. I mean, like, I have all my notifications pretty much shut off, but that red dot is still there. That's a good idea.
Morgan, since my Wi-Fi was so sketchy when I was gone, when I turned back, when I got back to Canada, I had 197 emails from like 4 days or like 5 days. And I was just like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, that would drive me insane. I'm like you, Morgan. I can't have a red dot. Like the minute I see it, like Pinterest, I don't know why. I don't know how to turn it off, but my Pinterest tells me I have notifications. And it's like 365. I'm like, I just looked at that like 5 minutes ago, I swear. I just like have to click on it just to make that thing go away. I don't even need to know what it is. I just want that red dot to go away.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to add on before I kind of do a recap?
And I can upload this tonight and have it ready for tomorrow morning too.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll just kind of recap the beginning, if it will let me here. Okay, so at the beginning we said that it's important to build an environment that allows you to stay focused. So finding that place where you work best, and to make lists on your phone and make it convenient so that way it's always with you, and kind of break it down to like a daily list, a weekly list, a monthly list, and then what that looks like so you don't miss anything month to month so you stay consistent. Every day reorganize your list to make it realistic for you so you're not overwhelmed. And Morgan said that to have max 3 extra things a day. I think it was Morgan that said that. And just so that way you don't get overwhelmed. And what else was at the beginning? And I really like a couple of them said to kind of have like an end point in your day. So at like 4:30, kind of try and unplug so you can be present. So if you're at home full time, to really focus on having those unplugged time. So even if you're working part-time as a coach, just to really still be present and make sure that you have a balance, because you want this job to give you life, not take over your life. So yeah, that was kind of the beginning things. And then I think you were here for the rest of that, Marie. All right. Well, thanks for joining, ladies. I'm glad my internet ended up working. I was getting a little nervous there. I thought I wasn't going to make it on. But this was awesome. I wrote it out, so I'll actually share this Google Doc. It's like shorthand, so it's nothing fancy. But I will share that into the group as well. And then we can share this video with our team. So thanks for joining.
I'll upload it tonight and post it in there in the morning.
Sounds good. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else they want to talk about, I guess we're good for tonight. All right.
See you guys later.
Okay. Bye, guys.